Hi, good afternoon, City Council. I want to thank all the wonderful citizens who are coming up to offer their testimony. I'm very in agreement with their issues about air quality, and think that it's kind of inspiring to know that the people who are cannabis activists are also cross-disciplinary environmental activists. And I think that's just a beautiful symbolic thing about how Portland thinks. And I had run into Nick Caleb on the way in, and I was like, how should I take this? And he's like, well, we're going to try to put an environmental twist on it and move it towards some kind of allocation of the tax revenue into the environment. But I just wanted to share with you something I find really fascinating, which is an international law enforcement organization called LEAP, and it's Law Enforcement Against Prohibition. And I found out from a former MI5 Annie Machon, or spelled M-A-C-H-O-N, but she is very proud of this and promoting it. And I think we really have to think about how what we are doing is of worldwide importance. It's being looked at from an international basis. There are very frustrated activists in other countries who are not to this point. So it's maybe a great time to pat ourselves on the back after a long day and a long year of how hard our community is working on these issues and how many people are gaining relief from suffering and chronic pain and anxiety. And I thank all the great people like David Keith Davis's mother, Miss Pamela Snow White Davis, who was an early pioneer of the marijuana reform movement. And we've got a lot of people in our community who think along these lines, like Barry Jo Stull. And I also want to recognize an officer who fell in the line of duty in a Portland police marijuana raid back in the day. Barry Stull knows all about it, and he really should look at his Department of Justice fairness hearing in Judge Simon's court testimony, because he refers to his deep insider knowledge of Colleen's death. And her last name is escaping me. I'm thinking it was like it began with an H. But we have to see that when law enforcement internationally are uniting to try to shift the focus onto other things, I don't know so much about them, but I would suggest some people get involved with them and look at them and see how we can reach out, possibly even to our own federal government, see if they can see things through our eyes, and then move towards a future where we can deal with serious drug addiction as a disease and not a crime, so we can have a more humane society. Thank you so much for your work on this measure, Ms. Fritz, and I support and approve it. Thank you very much. And I'd like to recognize the work of the future activists who I've just met, and I'm very excited to hear their testimony, and I really appreciate the reallocation of 3 minutes instead of the previously curtailed 2 minutes, which was a disrespect to the citizens' voice. But I think the citizens will be resilient and spring back and be here to hold that space. Thank you.